Bert, Bert, it's time for the Bobcat Show with Tree and Howard. Hey, here we go. There we go. That's who we're talking about today, Lone Star Chicken Care again. Once a month, we're going to try to have on Mr. Howard Davenport himself. Where you at there? Come on. There he is right there. Oh, hold on.
What's left of me after this last week?
Yeah. So I got something new I'm doing with the podcast. After I take off the Leghorn hat, I put on a different baseball cap. And today's baseball cap is Val 22. I'm a veteran myself, and Val 22 is for the 22 veterans we lose daily to suicide and PTSD. And Val 22, they're located down Lake Jackson, Texas. David Benson's the director of it. He and his wife do an awesome job running that organization, helping veterans deal with PTSD. And salute to them. All right, how you doing, Howard?
Doing good.
That's good. Good to see you.
Good to have a little bit of a break from.
What were we up to? Like 19 messages already today?
I just got number 21, so it's gonna be a long. Well, there's 22.
Yeah.
It's
Bailey.
It's gonna be a long weekend, I'm afraid.
Oh man. So that's a lot of chicken health problems, you know.
Yes, there is.
There is. So what are you dealing with most of right now?
What we're seeing a lot of right now is the usual respiratory issues, a lot of eye infections, and we're getting a lot of positive cases back on Merrick's and avian leukosis virus. They're hitting us pretty hard. About 3 out of 5 birds are coming back testing positive for one or both of those viruses, and it's taking its toll. But we're trying to work with the owners through it to help them find ways to where they can manage their flock and not have to just go in and depopulate everything. So we're trying to keep them closed, trying to keep them educated. We've had a lot of ascites lately. As a matter of fact, here about I guess about 5 days ago, I had got a call to go up and look at a hen, and the way the owner described it, it was definite ascites. I had no idea how much, and till I got there, and then she came out, and unfortunately, I pulled in her driveway 2 minutes too late, and the bird had passed, and it was going to pass anyway. But I pulled 1,120 milliliters. That's over 1 full liter of fluid off that bird's abdomen. And then we did a field necropsy and found where the oviduct and the intestines had fused together. And there was no way the food could get through, so the bird basically starved to death. It was totally emaciated, just a total skeleton with the exception of the abdomen. And then we also found cancer nodules in the mass where the fusion had. All the fluid had pushed all her visceral organs up toward the front of her body, and it was, the bird wouldn't have made it, but you have to go and try.
Yeah. Oh, that's unbelievable. I now in the Lone Star Chicken group that's on Facebook, y'all post up photos. I wish I could show photos here, but if I did, YouTube would cancel my podcast. They frown upon that stuff.
Yeah, I do have a post in the Lone Star group on that particular bird with photos. The Lone Star Chicken Care, Marissa and I, we talked about this group from the get-go, and we wanted it to be a informational, educational group, so we don't censor photographs on there. If you don't like it, best thing you can do is just scroll on down But you know, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, and that's what we want to get out to people. And if you show them a picture of what's going on, it may sink in a little more, like, you know, maybe I need to take some action and do a little better flock management.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean, I learned something today. You know, I was like, well, I thought I was doing something good, and then I was like, oh well. So, and that's the whole thing about it, is you learn from these people and so forth. And like I always tell people, I'm no expert, but I like to interview them so that we learn more and more. And so Howard's going to be a regular fixture around here, like once a month or so. So he can take a break and relax. I got him this nice new chair over here. Let me see here. I can show this chair off over here.
Yeah, I mean, this is perfect.
Yeah. So
this is better than the chair Marissa gives me at her house. You know, and I will have to say, I'm glad to have my partner back. Marissa's been going through some very, very, very serious health issues. I thought I had problems with my heart, but it's not near as what the problems Marissa has. And she's able to get around a little better now. She still pretty much stays at home. She's got this hole in the side of her chest, and she got some not so good news yesterday, but that's not to be put out public by me. If she wants to say something, that's up to her. But I could not do what I do without Marissa's help.
mm-hmm.
She's there when I need her, and I'm there when she needs me. And you know, sometimes we're like Laurel and Hardy when you get us together. But you know, the thing about her and I, or she and I, with even the problems that we have individually, physically wise, medically wise, we still manage to get a laugh. You know, we can find something to laugh about and make the day go better.
Yeah.
And one of the best things for us is when someone brings a bird in, and we're able to help that bird and help that person, and that makes everything go away for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like you know, for the past 17 years, I built a knife called the Patriot knife.
Yeah.
And I only donated them. I never sell them.
Yep.
They're donated to the veteran organizations and first responder organizations and fundraisers, and they're awarded to individuals that go above and beyond in the community, the veteran community, the first responder community. And I built and donated 411 of them.
Yeah.
And I've dealt with a lot of pain in my life. I've got neuropathy in both of my legs from years of poor circulation. I'm not diabetic. I just have severely poor circulation. I grew too fast when I was a kid, and the veins in my legs didn't catch up growing with me, so I have poor circulation.
Yeah.
So I've dealt with a lot of nerve pain in my life. And when one of these knives go up for auction, and they raise $14,000 or $18,000 as they did at the Chris Cobb Memorial,
mm-hmm.
the feeling is unbelievable. It's the greatest feeling of all.
Yeah.
It makes all the pain go away. It makes it all worthwhile doing. Yeah.
It does.
It does.
You know, like I say, you know, I had to give some. We had a lady that contacted us all the way up in Jacksonville, Texas, up by Rusk. And she had a bird with had an issue with the leg. And one thing that Marissa and I tell everybody is, it's always good with something like that to have that bird tested for either Marek's or avian leukosis virus. You've got three things that mimic each other very, very similarly, and that's a vitamin deficiency, Marek's, and avian leukosis. They are almost identical with the symptoms, and we had hoped and prayed that this lady's bird, after driving all that distance, was going to be a vitamin deficiency, and we got the report in yesterday, and it turned out to be Merrick's. So people will find with Marissa and I, we don't guess, we don't shoot from the hip. We want testing done. We try to get a flock history because we want the person to know what they may possibly be up against and how to manage it so they can prepare for it. That being said, we've had some good results lately, and it's all because the birds were tested, and we were able to report to the owners that they came back negative. And then so we have a vitamin deficiency going on, and we can treat that. But testing is very important. It doesn't cost that much. It is a worthwhile investment to protect the rest of your flock. To have those birds tested just to be sure, just to rule it out, and that's what we recommend. You mentioned earlier about other things we've been dealing with. Well, one of the big things with this heat is moldy feed. It'll rain, and then it
Rain? What's that?
yeah, really. But with this heat, that feed sets back in these warehouses, and it sweats. When it sweats, it forms mold. Okay, and a lot of these big commercial feed stores, they're not very good. I hate to say it. I'm not going to mention any names or anything, but they don't rotate their feed, and with that, not only do they get mold, but that heat, it depletes the vitamin packs that are in that feed, so the birds are not getting those necessary vitamins that they would normally get. And we tell people to make sure they check the date of manufacture on that feed before they buy it. If it's over 3 months old, I'm not buying it. I'm just going to say, go get me another bag. And that's how you prevent botulism and mold toxicity. And so people need to start checking their feed.
Yeah. I do that myself, and I got a picture up right now of moldy feed. Okay, it's not my feed. It's just a feed. It's a picture I grabbed off the internet.
Yeah.
And it looks like crumbles. Looks like it has some pellets in it.
Yeah.
But it's moldy, and you don't want to feed it. Now, I did notice I added a 5-gallon bucket with a lid. I had my front pasture with my free-range chickens, and I use a sprinkler system out there, and I water at night, keep the grass green and so forth for them. Well, I noticed the feed was clumping up inside. Well, the water was getting through the little holes by the handle.
Yeah.
And I went, oh my God. So I threw out 5 gallons of feed. I mean, that's a lot of feed. A 5-gallon bucket. It is.
It is.
And I'm like, oh no. And it's clumping up. So that's going to, which means it's got moisture in it. I don't know how long it's been in there. So just on the safe side, I got rid of it.
On the safe side, yeah, chunk it.
Yeah, I chunked it and everything.
Yeah.
So when I go to chunk it, on the very bottom of it is more chunks of it with fuzz.
Oh, yeah.
So there we go.
There you go.
Yeah, there's some mold. So I got rid of it, and it's all you can do. So I just continue using that bucket, and I just continue walking it out there every day, But yeah.
Yeah, mold is a big problem, and you'll find that any reputable feed store, if you take the bag back and show them, they're going to replace the bag or give you your money back. One of our moderators actually sent a sample of feed. She lost 7 turkeys within a day. And the only thing, me and Marissa came up with was it's got to be feed. It's got to be mold. You kind of go through the process of elimination. So she sent the feed sample to A&M and a body carcass of the bird, and it came back toxin, and it was a mold toxin from that feed.
Wow.
And the feed store gladly gave her money back and replaced the feed. But you have to open up that bag and you have to check it.
Yeah.
If it smells funny, I mean, if you've been raising chickens long enough, you know what good feed smells like and what moldy feed smells like.
Yeah, if you open up that bag and you go to dump it out into a container and clumps come out.
Yeah, exactly.
That clump is caused by moisture.
Yeah. And you're getting a lot of feed. In fact, I've taken a couple back that I bought, not for mold, but for the fact that they sit stacked in that warehouse. And I feed crumbles. I don't feed pellets.
Yeah, I do the same.
And it's been sitting there and all that weight on it from those other bags, and it's nothing but dust. And I'll take the feed back. I'm gonna say, get me one off the top. Let me check the date. I will, before they bring that feed out to my car, I go in there in that warehouse where I buy my feed, and I look at that date and I see where it is in that stack, and I'm gonna say, this is the one I want. And so I buy enough stuff from there that they kind of cater to me, but it's very important to do that.
Yeah. Now I shop at D&D here in Tomball.
Yep, good feed store.
And they go through a lot of feed.
Yes, they
do.
So
they don't have any old feed sitting around.
No, because they've got a reputation.
That's right.
They're reputable.
Yeah.
You got D&D. I mean, you got a bunch.
Even Jack over at MG in Tomball.
Yeah.
He stays quite busy himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got Wabash.
Wabash in Houston, yeah.
Wabash is got a great reputation. Steinhauser's.
Speaking of Wabash, you're going to be there.
Yes, Saturday, September the 30th. We're going to be there. Hopefully I'll be able to drag Marissa out of the house for a Saturday, and we're going to be doing a health seminar. I believe it starts at 10 o'clock at Wabash Feed in Houston. And Trina is going to come up from Danbury and set up outside and run fecal samples.
She's going to come up there and see the public?
She's actually going to come see the public.
Man, that's my chicken shit friend. She's too chicken shit to come on my podcast, but she'll go out in public. I know. I know.
She's going to run fecal samples for people if they want to bring a sample of their chicken's poop.
She's chicken shit to come on the podcast, but she tests chicken shit for a living, you know?
Yeah,
I know. No, I tried to get her on, you know. I want to get her on, and I want to get on Mr. Robinson here from Tomball. You know him?
Dan.
Yeah, Dan Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get him on. I like him. I follow a lot of his posts and everything, and he's got a lot of good messages and so forth. And I'd like to have him on too. But yeah, I had John from Wabash on, the manager over there.
Right.
And he's a very informative guy. But that's a beautiful store.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have yet to be in there, but I've seen pictures of it and on the website and talked to people, and they say it's like walking into a Cracker Barrel. You know, they got it's just they got everything.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. I can't wait to get in there.
When's the last time you went to D&D?
Oh, probably about 6 months ago.
I call them the mega feed store now.
The mega.
Yeah, and the reason why is the next store they had that farrier shop.
Yeah.
They took over that space.
Okay.
And all that is dog food, chicken supplies, and lamb and sheep, goat showing supplies.
Yeah.
That's all that whole area. It's just that stuff. And then the rest of it is your horse and cattle, stuff like that.
And then, Magnolia, Steinhauser's is moving from their little shop. They've got the building now where Amato's Grocery used to be, right there off of 1488. They've already got the new sign up and everything.
Yeah.
They're saying probably around December when they move in there, but it's going to be huge.
Is that where you buy from?
Yeah, I get my feed from Steinhauser.
We'll have to talk to them then about coming on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You won't talk to Marion. She's the manager. Yeah. She's another one. If you can get her to talk,
Yeah. I understand. But it could be we could do it up there together since you shop.
Oh yeah, I shop there. I mean, they see me coming and they know exactly what I'm gonna buy. I mean, they're already getting the ticket made up.
Like, oh shit, here comes Howard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here's Howard. Yeah. Get those syringes. Get this.
Yeah. So
we haven't really seen any hurt, for a better lack of words, and the ability to get antibiotics right now. There's still some out there.
Well, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, what the ruling is that if you already have the antibiotics in stock, okay, if you already had them, you can sell them without the prescription until one of two things happen. Either you run out of those antibiotics or the expiration date of those antibiotics.
I was going to bring that up to you because I saw on Valley Vet Supply.
Valley Vet, yeah.
They still have in stock. I'm like,
yep.
What? And I made a notation on my I got a notation right here to ask you about that.
Yeah, we've got a warehouse at One Stop Chicken Health Shop. I mean, we got Marissa loaded up. So we've got plenty. And if anybody needs terramycin for the eye, we've got LA 200, we've got Thailand, we've got Tolosin, we've got the pills with the expectorant in them. So we've got plenty, and she's constantly looking for alternatives. It seems like there is some antibiotics and medications that treat like canker and thrush and other parasitic diseases, and even some bacterial that you can order from pigeon people. And we're checking to see if any of those drugs are in the formulary that we might be able to use, because they're not the thing with the pigeons is they're not considered livestock. Poultry is. So, but they're still birds. Chickens are birds. Pigeons are birds. So that drug should be able to work on a chicken. So we're checking into that.
That's interesting.
We're staying on top of it.
That's good. So something I so many people have been talking about how they have less eggs because of the heat.
Oh yeah.
Well, I did. I went from my 12 egg laying hens. I lost 2 hens in the heat.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But then my egg production went down to 4 eggs per day instead of like the normal 10. And now I have it back up to 8 eggs a day. And what I've done is I've just increased their water intake by giving them fresh water 3 times a day. I've got the bigger water, so I bought those big double wall galvanized tanks. I got an 8-gallon and a 5-gallon.
Great.
And it's got a copper inside to keep away algae.
All right.
Okay. And then I bought hog pans, hog feeding shins, and dang it, screen, come on. My screen disappeared on me. I'll show you a picture I got here. Here's some from Walmart I show. I got a picture of it up here. They're like $5.50 a piece from Walmart. They're galvanized steel. They're like 1.5 inch tall sides. I fill them with water. And if the temperatures are below 100 degrees, I just change the water 3 times a day. But
There you go.
if it goes above 100 degrees, I put a block of ice in there that's in a 1/2 gallon container
There you
that
go.
I can refreeze, and it'll stay cold for about 5 hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they stand on that as well on the block. But here's my rooster. I got a picture of him. And he's standing in it. Let me take off this caption here so everyone can see it. But it's I have it on there. It feels so good. I got my rooster standing in the thing of water right there, and that's what I have in all my coops and all my runs are these hog feeding tins, and they love them. And they don't make them much of it, everything, but they're easy to clean out, and so forth. I clean them every day, replace the water, and refill it about 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do for some people, if they're working and everything. But I work from home, and so it's a little bit easier for myself. But if you can't do it, get one of these and put a 1/2 gallon container of water that's frozen inside of it. It'll stay cool pretty much all day with that 1/2 gallon. Yeah. But that makes a big difference. And then I started giving them more cold treats: cucumbers, turnip greens, watermelon.
Yeah. Whatever you can do to cool that temperature. What people need to understand is the reason those hens aren't laying during this heat is because producing an egg requires energy. Okay. You have chemical energy, which is producing that egg.
Mm-hmm.
As it starts traveling through the oviduct, that chemical energy is converted to thermal energy. Thermal energy increases the heat production, not the actual body temperature of that chicken, but it increases the production temperature to where that bird's going to feel like it's hotter. Okay, and they're not going to lay. Because they're trying to keep that temperature down. It's the same thing with eating. They're not going to eat as much during the heat. They're going to drink more because digesting that food, it converts chemical energy into thermal energy, and you get that heat response. So that's why people get in the group all the time. Why isn't my chicken eating? Well, yes, there could be several reasons, but you have to think outside the box and put everything together. With this heat, that they're just not going to eat as much. They're going to drink like there's no tomorrow, and with drinking all that water, they're going to have loose stools or clear diarrhea. That's just what happens. We had a bird come in yesterday that was down, and we ran a fecal, and it did come back with a moderate load of roundworms, but the crop was very full, and it was nothing but water. But we went ahead and did an Epsom salt flush on that bird. And I talked to the owner this morning. The crop did empty overnight, but it was nothing but water because the bird really hadn't been eaten. And that's what happens in this heat. They're going to drink, and they're going to have watery stool. So before you go to they've got some kind of disease, think about it a minute. Okay, bird's hot, it's drinking a lot of water, it's not really eating a lot, so it's going to be loose watery stool.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of going out and trying to buy every kind of drug known to man to treat something that you don't know what you're treating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm doing everything I can to keep them cool. You know.
And then
Yeah.
one other thing that we've had an issue with lately is overdosing medications. We had one of our members that had her mother had a bird, and she was given the bird based on misinformation that she heard or saw online in one of these backyard groups about giving ivermectin. Uh, and what happened was she gave the bird the ivermectin orally, the injectable, and the bird acquired ivermectin blindness. It went blind in a matter of about 24 hours, totally blind. Ivermectin injectable, and it says so in the formulary, which is what every veterinarian in the United States uses. It's what we use. It specifically tells you that if you give ivermectin injectable, you must dilute it with propylene glycol. You can't dilute it with water. You can't give it straight because you will overdose the bird. And people continue to do it. And I put this information out there. We even put the photograph of the page of the formulary, and still people will not read it. They will continue doing what the propagator that they bought their birds from tells them to do, and that person doesn't know anything anyway. But if you give that medication orally, you must dilute it with propylene glycol. You cannot use water. Ivermectin injectable is not water soluble. It specifically tells you that, but nobody wants to read that. They want to listen to some TikToker that bought chickens yesterday and has decided to become an expert on poultry. You know, these little things really get my goat because the information's out there. If people would just take the time to look and read, you know, and it's just like giving antibiotics, vitamins, or any other kind of medication. Let's say you have a bird that you want to give antibiotics to for whatever reason. It could be a respiratory infection. It could be bumblefoot. Okay, let's look at two different medications that we commonly use. But let's look at Thailand 50, and then let's look at LA 200. Okay, those are the two most common antibiotics that we look at. All right. The dosing on those two drugs are totally different. You don't dose just because you give a bird 1 cc of Thailand 50 doesn't mean you give a bird 1 cc of LA 200. That 200 at the end of LA means there is 200 milligrams of active ingredient, which is oxytetracycline. There's 200 milligrams of oxytetracycline in 1 mil of fluid. Okay, so that's 200 milligrams. So you look in the formulary, and it says, okay, you're going to give, let's use an example, 25 milligrams per kilogram of weight for that bird. All right. So if you got, let's just look, let me get my calculator here so I can get this right. So we're going to say we're giving 25 milligrams per kilogram. So 25, and now we have to convert the pounds of the bird to kilograms, because you don't want to mix apple and oranges. So 1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds. So let's say this bird weighs 6 pounds. Okay, so we're going 6 divided by 2.2 gives us 2.7 kilograms. Okay, that's 2.7. So 25 times 2.7 equals 67.5. Okay, that's the total milligrams that we're going to be giving that bird. But now we have to look at the concentration of the medication. LA200, remember we said had 200 milligrams per 1 mil. All right, so we're going to divide that 67.5 by 200, and the total amount we're going to inject in that bird now is 0.34 mil. Okay, now let's change that. Let's just change that to the Thailand 50. Okay, still 25 milligrams, we'll say, times 2.7 divided by 50. If we were to give Thailand 50, we would be given 1.4 mils. 1.4. That's a big difference. So you can easily overdose with using those higher concentrated drugs. So you have to be careful with that. And this lady learned real quick about the ivermectin. Don't believe everything you see in these backyard groups. Okay, study it up. Get online with a scientific body talking, and instead of I bought my chicks yesterday, and look at me,
It's just like our own medications we take.
Exactly.
I mean, you look at your own medication, you ought to look at your chicken's medication.
Exactly.
I mean, just this morning, I woke up in a lot of pain. Not my normal nerve pain. I get nerve pain in the evening real bad, and I take my gabapentin. But this morning, I had achiness pain, so I grabbed my ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Well, I've got 800, I've got 600, I've got 400, and I've got 200. What variation am I going to take today?
Yeah.
Depending on my pain level, you know? So I adjusted it to the pain level I had.
There you go.
I took a 600. I didn't take the 800. I took the 600.
I'm glad you said that, because if you look at the formulary, there is a dosage range that you go by.
Right.
And you pick the dosage based on how severe the symptoms is that bird has. Okay. And just like you're saying, you picked your dosage based on what you think you need. How I feel. I don't want to overdose. I don't want to underdose. I want to have it as close as I can. The thing to remember is a heavier bird. The heavier the bird, the lower the milligram dosage, because of the way a heavier bird metabolizes. If you have a lighter bird, you go to the higher milligram dosage. A heavy bird, go to the lower. And everything should work out pretty good. But you have to understand, just because you give 1.3 cc's with Thailand doesn't mean you give 1.3 c's with LA200. It's the concentration per mil of that medication, and you have to do a little math.
Yeah. I don't know, will that show up on my screen or not? I'm trying to show a picture. If you're looking at the screen right now, you're looking at a live video feed of one of my chicken coops. You see that, Howard?
Yeah.
Isn't that neat?
That's neat.
You know how much it cost me to do that?
How much?
Everybody's thinking that's a lot of money. This thing's got night vision. It's got a camera. It's got a siren on it. I can set off the siren. And you can hear it outside. It'll scare a critter away. And it's even got a microphone. I can say, hey, mother bucker, I said Bocker, not what you thought, but I said, hey, Mother Bocker, get away from my chicken. But $25 on Amazon.
Wow, that ain't bad.
It screws into a light bulb. Yeah. And
Marissa's got this camera on her garage
here it is right here. Here's a picture of it. I just posted up for people.
that she can spy on me when I come over there. And then she'll start making commenting or something like I can hear her with that generator running.
Uh-huh.
And I just say, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. But I wanted to post it up real quick because I mean that's an inexpensive way of keeping an eye on your birds, And here's the thing, I could be in Timbuktu and look at my camera.
Yes.
And see it, And I show people all the time. Here is a nighttime view of it up on the screen right now.
Yeah.
In the background, through the woods, you'll see a bunch of lights. That's a neighborhood that's about 100 yards away from me. I don't have any neighbors. Here's a daytime view of it, I think. Yeah, that's a day. No, that's an evening view. In fact, I'm standing by the fence looking at them after I put them away. That's right. 8:19 in the evening. But I mean, this thing works great. Here's a view of just looking at my chickens. That's one of my Jersey Giants and everything, and you can see the hog pen there where they stand in and so forth. I can zoom this all the way around my property. I can look at the gate. I can look at my front of my house.
Look at everywhere.
Yeah, I can zoom in, zoom out, and $25. And you can do multiple cameras through their software. But really, really neat, the whole camera deal. So that's $25 I ever spent. But here it is again. Once again, if you want to look at one on it's Wansview, WANSVIEW, 2K light bulb security camera. I bought another one from them first from Amazon that asked me to hook up to. It wanted to hook up to my Alexa, which I don't have.
Yeah.
My mom had those. I hated that thing because it listens to you.
Yeah.
It does. And people say, oh, they don't listen to you. I said, oh, yes, they do. Mom was watching a TV show one night. I was over there with Mom. And I can't remember. Oh, it was America's Got Talent. And that guy, Pierce, I can't remember his name.
Pierce Brosnan?
He's the English guy.
Oh, no. I don't
remember his name.
Piers Morgan, not
Mom. Well, here, Mom said.
I know who you're talking about.
Mom said, he's such an asshole. And Alexa said, well, that's not very nice. So, it's listening to you,
Yeah, it's
why
like
would
a parrot.
Why would Alexa say, well, that's not very nice, But I was like, oh, that's it, So then this camera asked to be hooked up to Alexa and your Amazon account. I'm like, no, I don't think so.
No.
So I returned that one and I bought this new one and it just works through Wi-Fi. And I'll be at the feed store and I'll show people. I said, oh yeah, here's my chickens, And I can zoom on and on a coop behind it and another coop back there and so forth. So it's really handy. I love that thing. So, but that's my new chicken security camera. So, I wanted to bring up something while you're here. When you go to the feed store in the springtime and you're looking to buy some chicks, you look on the brooder they have there, and they have, like the one by me, they have pictures of what they look like as chicks and when they're growing up.
Yeah.
And I've been there when they got their chicks in, and they come in a box that's all vented. They open it up, and all the same birds are in that box, and they put them all in the brooder. Okay, so you're going to get what's on that picture. And most of them, they have pullets. You're getting pullets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me bring this over here a little bit closer to me over here. And so you go there and you're like, oh, I'm going to have all pullets, And so this year I went in there and I bought, some leghorns. And I want y'all to see one of my leghorns. If you know anything about chickens, you're looking at the picture right now, you're like, that's not a leghorn.
Not hardly.
Not hardly. I mean, I'll bring it up a little bit closer here. But there's little black spots on its neck and a black on its tail, which a leghorn doesn't have. So I got 6 leghorns, and 3 are hens, 2 are roosters, and 1 is this, Delaware. This is Deli, my Delaware.
Deli.
I was going to sell her. I really was. Because I got enough brown egg layers. I don't want any more brown egg layers, I wanted the whites. So, but she is so friendly. She sits on my shoulders. She flies up my arms all the time. She's like the most loving bird I own. Very friendly. And she's the only chicken I've ever brought in my house before, except for chicks when they were sick or something like that, you know. But I'm keeping her. I'm going to keep her. I really like her a
Yep, she's
lot.
a very nice bird.
She is. But, you know, it's just like, what's the ratio? I'm sure there's a ratio of how many, the chance. I mean, if you buy straight run birds, it's probably 50-50 chance of pullets between cockerels. But I mean, if you're buying pullets that are supposed to be, you know, all hand, you know, supposed to be all pullets, I could see you having every once in a while getting a rooster. But
getting a Delaware to boot.
but buying 6 leghorns, she don't want to go back in the cage here.
Here, I'll hold her.
No, you want to hold her?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here.
Any chance to smooch with a chicken?
Come here. Come on. Howard wants to smooch with you. Come on. Here you go. Go see Howard.
There you go, girl. Come here. Come on. Come on, girl. Come on. There you go. Come on. Oh, yeah. Come on. There you go.
Howard's got her now. Bailey's checking her out.
Oh, girl, you just a pretty baby.
Yeah. Bailey had to see, why are you taking jelly from him? So, this year I bought 30 barred rocks.
Yeah.
Pullets.
Those are nice rocks you got out there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Very nice.
I love my rocks. And out of the 30, oh God, look at her. Oh God, look at her picking up that scab on your arm.
Yeah.
I
ain't a cannibal. Get on my leg.
So out of the 30, I got 6 roosters.
That's not a bad deal. That's not a bad percentage.
Yeah.
A friend of mine now, she just hatched some Seramas, and she had a remarkable hatch, especially these eggs being shipped all the way from Florida. And she got 15 eggs, and 11 hatched. So she just hatched day before yesterday. So she had a good success, and I'm telling her, I bet at least 7 of them's roosters. I'm just, you know, I'm giving her a hard time, but I'm sure they are. And the thing about it is, she let them hatch under a hen. She didn't use an incubator. So that is a very, very good percentage.
Yeah. I hatched some eggs this year. I traded 2 bags of my coffee for a dozen fertilized eggs, and 3 died, or 3 didn't hatch, you know. 9 did, and out of the 9, I got 0 cockerels.
There you go.
I'm like, wow. Yeah. I kept 2 of them. The rest of them I all sold because they were all barnyard mixes. I only kept 2, and I kept the 2 that were the French black Morans and the real dark brown eggs.
Yeah.
But they were fertilized by an Easter egger, so they're kind of funny in color. But I hung on to those, yeah. But then I purchased, let me see here. I got pictures of some birds. So then I bought 4 Wyandottes. And then, of course, I got this bird, my ugly chicken. And you think it's a raw brain.
You know what you ought to do? You're going to give away a bag of coffee?
Well, I am on this ugly chicken contest. If your chicken is uglier than Brittany, my chicken, you get a free
What
bag.
are you going to give away today? You got any kind of prize to give away?
Well, I haven't done any giveaways on the podcast yet because I don't have that big enough following yet. When I reach 100 followers on there, I will.
I'm trying to. How many people we got listening now?
I have no idea because it's not popping up on here.
Oh.
Yeah. But
well, let's just have a contest without any prize right now. See who the first person is that can tell us where the Wyandotte chicken got its name.
I know.
See if anybody can.
I don't know. We'll see if it pops up in the chat.
Yeah, let's see if
Yeah.
it pops up on the
I
chat.
know.
Hey,
I researched it, I researched, I like to research all my birds,
Yeah.
and I researched the Delaware and so forth. I know, but so this one was supposed to be a Wyandotte, but it's not, and out of the 4 Wyandottes I bought, I got this thing, and then here's another funky chicken I got. I don't know what this is. There it is right there. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's a beehive haircut from the 70s. No, that's not one. Okay, that's Brittany Mugly chicken. And then here's my deli, Delaware. There's a picture of her, So it's like crazy. Well, just 10 weeks ago, I went in the feed store and they had me being like loving my rock chickens.
Yeah.
They had partridge rocks, the brown barred rock chicken. So I bought 6 of them, and all 6 are hens, which is a good thing. But right above the brooder, in another brooder, was barred rock pullets.
Yeah.
And this one was coming right up to the door, looking at me like, "Take me, adopt me, adopt me, adopt me," And I put my finger in there, and that barred rock was pecking on my finger, and I reached in there and I pulled it out in my hand. It was like my buddy from then on. It's only 3 days old.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, I'm going to take you too. So I put it in the box. And wouldn't you know it, the one I pulled out, it's a freaking rooster.
Oh, God.
I know. And I'm like, oh girl. Oh, she got you.
Yeah, she left me a gift.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't have any paper.
No, that's all right. Here, girl,
Here, I'll take her back and I'll put her in the cage here. Oh, of course, she's on the microphone now.
Yeah,
There she is. Come on.
There you go.
Come on. Oh. Well, we got a response to your question here.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? Here we go. Oh man, look at all these responses. Man.
All you gotta do is ask a
all
question.
All of a sudden, we started getting responses now. Let's see here. Pink nails and grease stains, named after Native American tribe.
There you go.
There we go. Yep. And then Gene Kaiser, buddy of mine, he writes, "Hey, this is a family show." And so that's pretty funny. Who's this right here? Howard got pooped on classic.
That was probably Marissa.
Yeah, I think it is. It is, yeah. So, yeah. So I can post up messages here from people. Here we go. Pink nails and grease stains. That is that's our friend from the Ellis County Poultry Show.
God, I know.
Kelly.
Kelly.
Yeah,
Kelly Joe. Yeah.
Kelly Joe. That's
Kelly
I think that's her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great gal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have her on the podcast soon. She won't be in the chair. She's gonna have to do it from probably from her own place.
She's too lazy to drive down here.
Too lazy to drive down
She
here.
expects us to drive up to
Waxahachie.
Is it Waxahachie or Waxahachie,
I
Kelly?
don't know. It's something. Who knows? We'll find out when we get up there. And when they walk up to my table and they say it's pronounced Waxahachie or Waxahachie. Yeah, it is Marissa on here. It says MM Seal.
Yep, that's her.
So, yeah.
That must be one of her incognito names.
Yeah. So I don't know who this is that wrote it, but they just wrote, "I'd have to Google it, and that'd be cheating." Well, that's what everyone does anyway, Yeah.
Yeah, it came from a Native American tribe up in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Wyandottes.
So, oh yeah, God, look at all these messages popping up on here. I missed a bunch of them. It's just crazy. I've been clicking on messages and nothing came up.
You want to get them stirred up.
Yeah, here's one right here. How often would you do baking soda in their water for this heat? We've been changing daily, swapping between that and electrolytes.
anytime the temperature is going to be above, the actual temperature is going to be above 95, if it's forecasted, that's when I add it. And you don't have to give it every day. If they're not drinking it with, with the 1/4 cup, you can either reduce it down a little bit or add some sugar like you would with adding to Denegard. You can mix electrolytes and the baking soda together. They're doing two different things. The baking soda is actually adding back bicarbonate due to rapid respiration, and the electrolytes also help keep the pH in balance. I don't like keeping birds on a constant electrolyte. Just like constant vitamins, too much of a good thing isn't good. But you can switch off or you can put it together. But anytime that heat's going to be above 95, the actual ambient temperature, not counting the heat index, that's when I add baking soda. I got out this morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm out changing my water and putting my baking soda in. I always change my water. I never leave it setting because it becomes turbid and everything and tainted. And chickens don't like the taste of that water, and they don't like warm water. So I'm just like you. I freeze bottles and put it in my waters, and that keeps the water cool for several hours.
They do like that cool, and it's like
Yeah.
I've got well water here, and I've got used to drinking. I love it, and it's so good and cool right out of I mean, I haven't drank water from a garden hose since I was a kid. But I'll be outside watering the grass and I drink from my garden hose,
Yeah. If you drank from a water hose now, it would be all over the news.
In Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Houston.
So Marissa writes, I love my coop cameras. I use ring ones, but yes, I could watch mine from the hospital and talk to them. It also shows you predators if you had an attack, as you know what happened. Well, the ones I have, which are $25, have the same feature. So I know those ring cameras are what, a couple $100, aren't they? I said, well, because I'm not as rich as Marissa is, Marissa can afford those ring cameras. I can't afford them. So that's why I had to go with the $25 version,
All right, let's ask another question.
All right, what's the question?
All right, what famous baseball player raised Rhode Island red chickens?
That's one I don't know.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, see if anyone comes up with that.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. This is good to have. I'm glad to see
I'm gonna
this.
go ahead and give a hint. He had a farm in Sudbury, Massachusetts.
All right. Hey, real quick, while we're waiting on the answer there, I bought this. I saw it online. This is a mouse trap because I noticed mice around my coop and in my shop area and everything, and I baited it with peanut butter. It's got 2 entrances. Once they enter, they can't exit. But when I checked it, I could see little legs running around inside of it, So I knew I caught some. So I opened it up just to see,
Yeah.
That when you open up that top, they don't stay in there. They jump out. And you're like, oh! But yeah, it works. It works good. It's a good little mouse trap. But I don't have any more mice going to it, so I guess it worked.
Something I do we've got feral cats all over the place that help keep our rat and mice down. And then I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but we got an old rat snake that's been around there since Moses parted the Red Sea, and he's about a 6-footer. He's never bothered the chickens. Number one, he can't get in any of my pens, but he keeps the rats down. What I do is every evening when those birds are going to roost, I pick up the feed. My feed is hanging. I don't leave it on the ground, but I pick it up, I take it, and I put the feed in the shed. I don't leave the feed sitting out overnight because it attracts varmints. And then in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, here I am taking the feed out, putting it back in, and changing the water. But that old rat snake and the cats that we have hanging around, they pretty much keep that mice and rat population down.
Yeah. So I didn't know about that question, so I'm Googling it, and I can't find anything on it. No, I can't. I found one thing though.
Has anybody made an answer yet?
No, but you know what I did find? Wade Boggs of the Boston Red Sox had a cookbook regarding chickens, and they called him the Chicken Man because of it, but not because of Rhode Island Reds. As he had a cookbook. Now is that the answer?
No.
No. Okay. But he had a cookbook. Yeah.
Let's give one more hint. This baseball player actually had a white leghorn hen named after him now add this together, laying the most eggs in a single year. Think of what baseball player back in the early days hit more home runs in a single season.
Man, did he have a chicken named Babe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sherry Smith writes, I can't find the answer anywhere. Well, neither could I, Sherry, so don't feel bad. I just Googled it. I couldn't find out. But as soon as he said about how many hits they hit the most season, I knew it was old Babe.
Yeah, Babe Ruth.
But you want to know something? I think I remember hearing a story about that and his chickens on TV a long time ago.
All right, I'm going to ask one more question.
Oh, crap.
And I'm going to tell you
this.
Who is that you're talking to there, Sherry Smith?
Yeah, you know Sherry Smith?
Yes. If you want to see the actual Hyatt Regency of chicken coops and chicken pens, you need to see Sherry Smith's setup. That is the cleanest, most. I mean, there's no way those chickens are bored. That setup is incredible. What she has. She lives out here in Magnolia. I'm not going to give nobody her address.
I think I met her.
Yeah, very nice lady. Her and her husband. Her coops is just. I would die to have a coop like she has. Okay, I'm going to ask one more question.
She writes, thanks, Howard.
Yeah, you're welcome. You well deserved.
Well, maybe we'll have Sherry on the show.
Oh yeah, let her talk about coops. I mean, her setup. She knows.
Oh, coops, yeah.
I mean, her coops and pens.
Yeah.
One more question, just one more bit of trivia. Which U.S. president had a one-legged rooster that he kept in the Oval Office?
Oh boy, here we go.
Let's see who comes up. It'll probably be Marissa because she's heard me talk about it all the time.
So I got an announcement to make. I do. I've got acreage over here, and I got plenty of parking. So many people online talking about what do I do for my chickens and the heat and everything. Well, someone wrote, okay, Facebook user, what is your name? Because it's not showing up your name. They wrote Teddy.
Teddy. He got it.
Yeah, so I don't know who that is because it's not showing their name. When you go to sign on, you can put your name on the computer and so forth like that on when you're messaging and so forth. It just says Facebook user. So someone on Facebook, well, Marissa came in afterwards and she wrote Roosevelt after this other person mentioned Teddy. So,
Yeah.
But I'm sure
Marissa doesn't realize there were two Roosevelts.
Yeah.
So she doesn't get credit on that one.
Oh, it's Pine Box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're always on. They've become good friends of mine. And
Oh, great people, great couple.
They are.
You know, we got so many great people, chicken people around here. I mean,
we do.
I mean, you know, like we were talking about a while ago, Sherry Smith, Pine Box,
Dan
Robinson, and
Trina Robinson,
and
they're not related.
Christine, just so many great people that really care about their birds, and that makes us feel good. I mean, there's some great people out there, good, knowledgeable people that will help anybody, and we thank them. We want to thank them for being part of our group. Don't ever think, you guys don't ever think that your help isn't appreciated when I can't get to an answer, or Marissa or Trina. We appreciate all of y'all's help. You know, everyone.
Hey, real quick, I had a broody hen 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, I really don't want to mess with putting it in a kennel and food and all that. You know, it's just with my legs and my leg condition, it's hard to get up and down off my legs. In fact, I'm getting a new harness for my service dog Bailey that'll allow me to use her to get up and down off the floor easier. So I made an experiment. I like to experiment with things. I got a bucket out there. It's got 4 different nipples on it to experiment which one works the best for the chickens. You know.
Okay.
When I mentioned Valpox the last time you were on, you said use betadine solution. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I use that, and I use toothpaste.
Yep. Crest is good.
So which one? And I use a cold cake cavity fighter. Well, it worked. It did.
It does.
But the betadine solution worked a lot better.
Yeah.
It did. So I tested it.
Yeah.
So I decided to test another way of dealing with a broody chicken. Every day I went in my coop, pulled her out, and I got a picture right now. I've got a live feed of my chicken tunnels up. Mm-hmm. And every day I'd walk over to the very end of the chicken tunnel. I'd lift it up and I'd put her down there and I'd set her on the ground. And the chicken tunnel, and she'd be like, shit, why did you put me out here?
Yeah.
You know? And she'd get up and she'd peck in the dirt and she'd scratch and find little bits of Milo I throw in there.
Yeah.
You know? And so she goes into there's a little area, you'll see it. If you look on the coop on the picture right now, there's a chicken walking into the cube. I have a 4x4 cube that's part of the chicken tunnel system that's got a roof over it, so they can sit out in the outdoors and still be in good fresh air. And there's a perch out there, and there's you know, they dust bathe in there and everything. Well, she walks in there and she's got up on the perch for a while and sat there, and she scratched and so forth in there, and then she created a dust bath for herself. And she went inside and she drank a little water. She ate a little food, and she went back up in the coop, you know. And I left her. The next day, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
And every day, I would take her out and I'd put her in the chicken tunnel. After the 6th day, she's no longer brooding.
Good.
It worked.
There's different methods.
Yeah.
If you can do that with a silky, let me know. They have to be those birds are born broody.
Yeah. But I was shocked how it worked. I was like, well, it worked, you know? Yeah. But that's awesome. So September the 9th, Bailey and I are headed to Waxahachie, Texas. And we're going.
Okay, did she say if it was waxy or waxy?
Well, it's kind of hard to say when you type it.
Oh. Well, tell Kelly.
It's kind of hard to type how you pronounce the word, you know. But no, we're going to be September the 9th. It's the biggest little chicken event in Texas. It's the Ellis County Poultry Trade Days in Waxahachie.
Huge swap up there. Huge poultry show.
And I saw photos of cars leading to it. And I always say, did you ever see the Kevin Costner movie, Field of Dreams?
Yes.
And they show all the
if
cars.
You build it, they will come.
And they show all these cars on the highway and everything heading there. Well, she's got a photo, I guess, from the drone photo of cars coming from miles around, stuck in traffic, trying to get into this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. So we're going to be there the Friday before for setup, and we're going to do a live podcast that Friday with Kelly, talking about it for Saturday. And then Saturday, we're going to do another podcast at the event as well on Saturday, showing the crowds and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be Bailey and I, my service dog, and we'll have coffee for sale. We'll have Bock Cash t-shirts and caps and maybe some koozies or something like
There
that.
you go.
And so that's coming up. Yes, it is. We're looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
You know, when you go to an event like that, one thing I'll say is that all those birds that are coming in that building have been inspected by the state. Okay, because they have to be PT tested. So you know, you're more than likely you're getting very good quality, clean birds. I've heard nothing but rave reviews about that event that they have there. I haven't had a chance to go yet, but a friend of mine down here, a couple of them do go, and it's an event, a really big event, and they got a lot of nice birds there.
Well, she just posted up, and she wrote walks. Hatchie, Hachie.
So it's walk, WALK, walks.
Yeah.
Walks a hatchie.
But she also put on here, I think it was a misspell here. She wrote, yay, walks a have he.
Walks a have.
Have he. And I'm like, well, that might have been a mistake, you know. Then she came back and wrote Hatchie, you know. Yeah. Walks a Hatchie.
But if you're wanting some good birds, it would be worth the drive to Waxahachie. You know.
Yeah, she wrote it was a typo.
Yeah,
yeah,
it would be.
I would think so.
Definitely be worth the drive.
Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, we're gonna go up there. I'm looking forward to that. So you know, when I was saying earlier to you outside, it's with the summer heat. Everyone's like, "What do I do for my chickens in the summer heat? Do I add?" I mean, I'm seeing people that are adding air conditioners to their coops, and I'm like, no, you don't do that. It's just you can't mess with their system like that.
And you know, if you have to cool down a bird that's exhibiting signs of heat stroke, you put it in cool water. And what I recommend,
and not ice water.
Yeah, is going ahead and if you think you may have a problem, go ahead and get a tub set up with water in it and let it acclimate to room temperature and use that. And after you dip that bird, you do not want to put it in air condition to finish cooling it off. You take it out and you put it outside with a fan blowing on it in a shaded area and let it air dry. Don't shock it with AC.
Air conditioning. No,
Yeah.
No, not at all. Well, with that, you know, we're constantly talking about it. And, you know, one thing I bring up is in Houston, the big city of Houston, people that have backyard chickens, I see them putting these beautiful coops they're building. They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
But they have no ventilation. And they're like, well, you know.
Yeah, you got to have ventilation.
You got to have ventilation. And the thing is, though, is if you have a backyard chicken and you're in Houston and you have a fenced-in backyard, you have less of a breeze.
Yeah.
Whereas where I'm at, I've got lots of breeze all the time because it's all open. I don't have any fences. I got
same as my place.
Yeah, I got cattle panels. I've got barbed wire. You know, there's no blocking of the wind except for my house. So I have all the breezes. So it's not as bad. But if you're stuck in Houston in a backyard and you got little bitty vent holes or little bitty those little vent slices, you know, they put those little vents on there, like metal, and they're angled. You know, that's not enough.
No,
it's not.
Isn't. And you know, you've been around long enough that you've seen it. I've seen it. We've all seen it. Come fall, everybody will be panicking about the winter.
Right. I just put up a picture of one of my coops. It looks, if you're looking from a distance or your phone, it might look like I have no sides on this coop, but this coop actually has PVC coated hardware mesh.
Yeah.
And it's like this through and through on both sides, so they have tons of ventilation. So come wintertime, I'm going to cut a board where I have just the top of it open,
right,
and the rest will be covered up with wood.
Yep, That's all you
So
gotta do.
that's all I got to do. But it leaves ventilation on top, so that when they're in there, they're not in a sweat box.
Right, because you have to have cross ventilation, especially during the winter, to allow the air to flow through. Because if it stays inside the coop, people say, well, I'm going to close all the windows, close everything up. No, you can't do that, because if you don't have flow through ventilation, the droppings, the poop, the water, anything you have in that coop the moisture is going to evaporate, and that's where you get frostbite from that moisture. You have to allow that air to flow through ventilation during the winter, and the same thing with the summer. You have to have ventilation in that coop.
So
I was out the other day,
uh-huh.
and I've got one of those temperature guns, and this lady had lost 4 birds, every one of them the same time. Found them dead that morning, and when I arrived out there, I went and looked at the coop. She found them in the coop. There was not one window open. I took my temperature gun, and I put it on the floor. No, I'm talking about the floor. I mean, we know heat rises, but I put it on the floor, 132 degrees.
I was going to say 125.
132 degrees in that coop, and it had a metal roof, and that's what killed the birds, heat.
And roasting your own chickens.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they try to pack too many chickens into one coop. Well, now you've got the heat coming off the birds, and you don't have the ventilation. That's heat stroke waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing is, like, come wintertime, don't put a heat lamp in your coop.
Oh, good. I got.
And people will do it, but you don't know.
No, you don't need it. I posted pictures. I believe they're in the Lone Star Chicken Care. Just type my name and you see on my post. This lady had put a heat lamp in, and luckily the coop didn't catch fire, but one of the hens had bumped it, and she had like 6 birds that the feathers were completely singed off of, because they got under there and that heat lamp singed the feathers, and she was very lucky.
Oh yeah. That is.
Nothing happened.
And that's the thing is, I'll see birds, and if you have chickens, you have a coop, you'll see them fly up and hit the side of the wall.
Oh yeah.
And that right there is when they're going to hit the heat lamp and knock it off, and the car start a fire.
Yep.
Yeah. So I have a brooder underneath my back porch that holds, it's 4x4. You can probably put 50 chicks in it. It's that big.
Yeah.
And I have heat lamps that are attached on there that are wired to it so they don't move.
Yeah.
Well, something got on top of the brooder and moved it enough, and it charred the wood. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, those flat heat sources they have that are real safe so they don't catch on fire. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I bought one of those, and it's great. But if the chicken or the chick walks out from underneath it, it's exposed to the cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if it stays out there, it's going to die.
Well, if it stays out there.
And I've had that problem. Yeah, that's why I kind of like the heat lamp, so that it's all over the place. But yeah, I was trying to look for a picture of my phone.
I mean, heat lamps are fine as long as you can monitor it, but just leaving it without being monitored, I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Now, they recommend using a heat lamp if you like have birds shipped in.
Oh yeah, of course.
At least for the first couple of days to get them acclimated, then switch to the plate.
Yeah.
When I hatch, I use an incubator, so I don't have to worry about that. I take them straight from the hatcher to the brooder, and they have a plate that they get under. But
I was looking for a picture, but what I was going to say is about.
And one other thing, you want to watch if you use a heat lamp, and that is having your brooder made out of plastic, like one of these plastic totes that you get from Walmart or somewhere. You hook that heat lamp to that plastic, and that lamp's hotter than hell.
Oh,
okay?
it melts it. Oh, yeah.
It will melt that plastic, and then you got a problem.
Yeah, yeah. So what I was going to say is, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
You sure?
Tell
You're
me
positive?
to shut up like Marissa does.
No. What I'm gonna do is I've got a nice little place out here. It's a few acres and all that, and I got plenty of parking as you pull in because my house is set on the backside of the property. And in fact, in front of my gate, in front of the fence, is the old FM 2920.
Yeah.
Right at the curve here by New Kentucky Territory. It used to go straight through, and they changed the curve right there, and the old 2920 is right in front of my fence. So I've got a ton of parking out there too between 2920 and my fence.
Yeah.
So people can park there even within, because all the old asphalt's right there. So I can have, 20, 30 people show up out here. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a little fall chicken festival out here. And we're going to be talking about winterizing your chickens.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have Howard come out here and Lone Star Chicken. I'm going to have some other vendors out here. I'm going to have a feed store out here. Of course, Bailey's Brew Coffee. The chicken series will be out here. I'll have hot coffee for everyone to drink. And it's going to be a price per head because we're going to be feeding people. It's going to be a smoked chicken.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. And hopefully Marissa can come out there. And of course, we'll have
I'll get her out here.
We'll have my Textroy Rooster Booster seasoning on the chicken. You like that?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, it's some good stuff. Yep. Do you cook out ever?
I'll have Dana do it.
You do?
She's the better cook.
Do you season the chicken? Do you eat chicken?
She does. She does all that.
Do you eat chicken?
Well, yeah.
Oh, well.
Not mine, but I.
Yeah. The thing is, though, is I was going to give you a bottle of this if you want it.
Yeah, I'll take one.
Okay, there you go. So this is Textroy Rooster Booster. Yep, great seasoning. I've been using them since 1994. But what's nice about this is it keeps the chicken moist. Yeah. So we're gonna have a fall chicken festival. I'm gonna try to get. Yeah, you can smell it through the lid. Doesn't that smell good?
Well, that smells Cajun-y right there.
It's not too spicy. It's got a little kick to it.
But it smells good.
Yeah. So yeah, I brought up to Pine Box Provisions. I said, hey, why don't you come on out to this fall festival and talk about chickens? And they're like, oh no, you got to use this person because they're afraid to talk to in person,
Oh God.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna do a little fall festival. And I got a little flyer I created this morning. What did I do with that?
Boy, I bet this would be good on steak too.
Well, they make a steak seasoning. They do. And the steak seasoning is delicious. I love their steak seasoning.
And it doesn't have, this is what's good for me with my heart. Those people that have heart issues. It's only got 236 milligrams of sodium, 10%. So that's good.
Yeah. And being it's in October, it might be cooler outside and so forth like that. And we're going to talk about winterizing your coops and all that. I'll show them the chicken tunnels. We're going to have raffles. I'll be raffling off a chicken tunnel.
Okay.
I'm going to have a 8-foot section of chicken tunnel. And I got a feeder we're going to raffle off. And I'm going to see if I get some stuff from some feed stores. And we'll have a gift set of coffee.
Steinhauser's is good about giving away.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So I think
I'm sure D&D
is going to set up out here.
Yeah.
And
well, we'd like to set up.
Of course, Lone Star Chicken Care will set up out here.
Well, actually, it's One Stop Chicken Health Shop.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I mean, that's the.
Yeah.
That's the.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're the same thing, but we kind of keep it separate.
Yeah. So we're talking about where they have the chicken sales and everything. You're worried about. Could you have a chicken sale and have photographs of the chickens instead of the chickens?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what you would have, let me just tell you what you'd have a problem with. If it's called commingling, and if you bring in birds from various sources.
Right.
Those birds, for any kind of public sale,
Mm-hmm.
and even if it's on private property, you're selling to the public.
Right.
The birds have to be polarium typhoid tested, and then you have to have a permit from Texas Animal Health Commission.
Mm-hmm.
The individuals with the birds have to have a permit.
So what I was thinking about doing is having people come out with a picture of their bird.
Yeah.
And place it on the table.
You know who to talk to about what you're wanting to do, because I just really handle the medical end of it. Talk to Kelly Jo and see how they work it up at Ellis County, and she could give you everything that they do and everything that they require. And everything they have to do because I assume Ellis County Poultry Trade Days is the actual vendor.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd be the best contact on that.
Yeah. So I'm going to do this at the house, the first one. I'm going to limit the amount of people that show up. But I'm friends with an individual that owned an old nightclub here in Cypress. And I used to be big with the Harris County Fair. And I actually used to work at the Houston Farm Ranch Club over at Bear Creek Park. I was one of the managers over there. And we held the Harris County Fair there for many years and all the cook-offs and so forth. And we worked with the Harris County Ag Extension. Well, it's gone because it's in Bear Creek Park and it floods over there. But Fred Stockton, Jr.,
mm-hmm.
that owned the Chin Hall Saloon in Cypress for many years, his father had it before him, is rebuilding the Harris County Fair. They're going to bring it back.
Yes, they are.
And it's right over here up in 99.
Right.
And they'll have the facility there. So what I'm looking at is starting this fall festival for chickens and start it out here and then move it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a bigger facility,
Yeah.
To allow more people.
They moved, I think it was 2 years ago, they had the Harris County Fair up in Conroe.
Yeah.
They used to have it in Waller at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
I don't know why they never had it. Why they didn't have it in Harris County. I mean, I can't figure it out. But no. There was one time they had it down around. It was off of 99, but it was way down south.
Yeah.
Down by or it might have been the Beltway, down by the stadium. God, that's been 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I showed there. Actually,
they were doing more arts and crafts stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. And I donated to it and so forth like that because I love being involved with the Houston Farm Ranch Club. It's a lot of fun. I was a member of the Houston Rodeo for years, volunteering with them, but I like Harris County Fair and Houston Farm Ranch Club a lot more.
Yeah.
I love that thing, but
well, look, I just got an emergency here. I got a hen that was tore up by a drake that I need to go look at.
Okay. Marissa just wrote, Howard, bring me all the goodies, seasoning, extra large t-shirt, all of it. Well, Marissa, I don't have the t-shirts yet, but I'm working on it. But we do have something here from Marissa about your coffee.
Mystery chicken.
This is a mystery chicken medium roast coffee.
I'll tell you, that coffee that I got from you last time I was there, that's gone.
What did you get?
The red one.
You got the breakfast blend.
Yeah, breakfast blend.
Yeah, I'm out of it too right now. I'll give you some more, but I'm out of it.
That's all right.
I'll give you. But Marissa posted a picture of on the group, and they used it for the background on the front of it. It's a chicken floating on floaty in the water, and they used her photograph. And one of the prizes was a bag of my coffee. So this is going to Marissa. This is the mystery chicken medium roast coffee. It's got Brittany, my chicken on it, my ugly chicken, because it's one of the mystery birds that I have no idea what it is.
I thought we went over that.
Well, we did, but I looked at the pictures of the chicken that you said it is.
A broadband?
Huh?
A broadband?
A broadband. I look at pictures that the Brawl brand, and I don't see the resemblance of it really. But I don't know. It's just an ugly chicken.
Ugh, yeah.
Big. I mean, I have friends that say she looks like a juvenile ostrich because it's so. No,
I don't.
keep that because you're gonna take that to Marissa. Yeah, and then I'll give you some other coffee to take on. Yeah, so
that means I gotta go over there.
Well, you'll be going over there anytime soon anyway. You know. Yeah. So okay, well, we're gonna end this, and nothing else to talk about. Real quick though, we got to remember our sponsors, of course. What pays for the show is the coffee. Bailey's Brew Coffee. Go to Bailey'sBrewCoffee.com. Use the discount code BOCKCAST and save 10% on your order. And we'll see you next Friday. We'll be back on next Friday. And lately, I've been doing some in-between podcasts. Sometimes on a weekend, I might do one, throw something in. I've got one of the companies I bought a bunch of supplies from, Premier One. They're going to be coming on. It's a huge online supply store. They sell everything: poultry, cattle, goats, sheep, lamb. They sell it all. I got my poultry fencing from my electric fencing from them, and I tell you what, it works. I caught 2 coons in it and saved my chickens.
There you go.
My coops are like Fort Knox anyway. But I'm going to have a representative from their company on as well. But hey, we thank you for coming on. An hour and 31 minutes we went. That's a long podcast.
Yeah, that's equivalent to a crop surgery.
Yeah. So Howard's got to take off and take care of a chicken. So we thank y'all for listening. Y'all have a great weekend. I'm going to be sweating my tail off in Houston, cleaning up my mom's house. I got 2 days left before the closing of her house, and I'm done with that house, and that's going to be nice not having to drive to Houston anymore.
There you go.
Yeah, so, all right, y'all. We thank y'all for listening. Be sure to go on YouTube and click like and subscribe to the Bockcast channel if you would. It helps me out big time. It doesn't cost you anything. Just go on YouTube, click subscribe, and click like and share it if you can to your friends and family, and we would greatly appreciate it. And we're going to be doing a lot more on the channel. We're going to be doing a lot more videos. I got little short videos on there, but we're working on video content as well here at the place and doing events. And so see you next time on the podcast. Bye-bye. Thank you, Howard.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.